Hey guys, welcome back to another wellness webinar. You're here with Jared and Amanda.
Welcome. We've been on a bit of a hiatus.
A little bit of a hiatus. Been very busy, not that that's an excuse, but yes, we've had lots of different things going on. And we sit here on a Wednesday morning looking at it, I guess, gray skies, lots of water falling from them. It's miserable.
We have very green grass though because of
But
it.
very green. It's an interesting contrast. It's miserable, but it's green. So I guess we thank God for small favors, really.
Yes, it has definitely turned very wintry here in Queensland where we live now. We are in the middle of May and my goodness, hasn't the weather changed?
And there's an interesting contrast between what we're wearing too right now. We have Amanda who is literally wearing little boots, long pants and a jumper, and I'm sitting here in shorts and a singlet. So that just shows there's always an interesting dynamic between the two of us and what we do. But this amazing weather that we're having and the time of year that it is has led us to this particular topic because it's very relevant. It's something we get asked a lot of questions about.
It is very, very relevant right now. So we are going to be talking all about today our top 8 easy steps to be able to keep your immune system boosted during the winter. Now, we have noticed that there is an abundance of really sick people around us at the moment.
Including in our noses right now. As you can sort of hear from our voices, they're not as... we don't have the same dulcet tones that we might normally use.
We've got that nice sexy rasp going on today, I think.
Which leads us to a whole sideline of different things that we could be doing right now.
A whole other
anyway,
series.
if you're looking to subscribe to something else that we do, I guess
we'll put our OnlyFans at the bottom.
A link below. But we want to talk about 8 easy steps to help you keep your immune system boosted during these cold times.
Yeah. Now, we thought we'd put some things in here today that you might not necessarily think actually relate to immune systems. But they're things that make such a profound impact on our bodies and how we look after ourselves. Yeah. Yes, of course, we're going to talk about the general things you probably know, like having vitamin C and sleep and water. But yeah, we're going to touch on a couple of things today that you might not know about.
Just because something's been said, though, doesn't mean it's not worth saying again. I think that's kind of important too. And it's important to understand that a good, healthy immune system does not mean that you won't get sick. But it means that even if you do get sick, your symptoms will be drastically reduced, and often the severity or long-term duration of the illness is reduced.
Pretty much.
So, these things are great, definitely great to have. So first thing we're going to do is something that I mention in every chance I can possibly get, which is doubling down on your routine. Okay, routine. And it's important for us to understand that this is the time of year when it's not about achievement, it's about keeping that routine going. That's far more important than anything else. When it comes to workouts, eating well, other self-care activities, you have to stay consistent, because the second you slip up, especially at this time of year when it's so easy to go, you know what, I'm too cold, I won't do this, or I won't go outside and get some vitamin D into my system, or I just feel like comfort food. You break that routine. Once we break that routine, we're gone. Our bodies absolutely adore routine. So it's important to align yourself with the natural rhythms of the natural world out there. Wake up early when the birds start chirping, animals start moving about, go to bed when your body tells you to.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely. I think that's really important. And, that just comes down to basic self-care, doesn't it?
It does, but it's so easy to break that routine. And now more than ever, summer's easy to keep routine, but winter is a harder time for people to keep routine.
Yeah, absolutely. You touched on going to bed there, which actually brings us to our next subject, which is making sleep your top priority. And we don't really have to tell you this twice. Like, I think everybody knows how important sleep is, but it's really worth emphasizing just how crucial the shut-eye is to an efficient immune system. So what happens is when we sleep, our bodies undergo like major restoration. And when you sleep better, of course, we know that we function better, we eat better, we don't crave sugary types of foods as much as when we're tired. We're just a nicer human to all of the people that are around us as well. um, which is, whatever that means for you. And I think, if you can have a really good routine around your sleep hygiene. So sleep hygiene being the things that you do to prepare for your nighttime routine about an hour or two before you go to bed. If you can make sure that you're winding down every night by doing things like turning off lights, being device free about an hour before you go to sleep.
When you finish eating.
Yeah, what time you finish eating, not having alcohol at night time before you go to sleep, coffee, that sort of stuff.
It's kind of the difference, I guess, between do you plug your phone in overnight and then you get a full day's charge out of it, or are you one of these people that forgets to do it and you're constantly charging your phone 3 and 4 times a day and expecting that it's going to function on 10% battery?
It's a pretty good analogy.
Yeah, that's basically what we're doing.
Yeah.
Now, let's think about number 3, which sounds yet another easy thing, but keep up your workouts or your movement routines. These are so important and so easy to break at this time of year because, it's cold. I don't want to go outside. Well, there are other ways you can do it. Keep up the routine. If you don't want to go outside, do the same thing inside. If you're one of our members, jump online and join us from home. Jump onto the portal, do one of the online workouts.
You don't even have to get in your car.
You don't even have to get changed out of your pajamas if you don't want to. But keeping that routine is the important part. If let's say, for example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you do this workout, this workout, this workout, keep that up because it is vital to your immune system. If the other days you go for a walk and it's raining, find other things you can do inside, but keep that movement routine up. Okay, it really is that important. And a healthy body lowers the chances of you getting sick.
Absolutely. All right, number 4. This is pretty much, it goes without saying, but adding immune boosting foods to every single meal where you possibly can. So making sure that you're eating mostly nourishing, if you can, organic, vitamin-packed foods is really key during, times of the year where we are more susceptible to getting sick. Now, one of the cool things that I learned years and years ago is when we eat seasonal produce, if you can eat seasonal produce, like as much as you possibly can, then our bodies are more susceptible to taking the nutrients from those foods at those particular times of year when those foods are at their ripest.
Yeah. I mean, literally everything out there is built with a purpose in mind, right?
Exactly.
Even down to little things like this.
That's why foods are grown in seasons.
Yeah.
So the earth it's super clever. It provides us with the exact foods that we need for proper nourishment and protection throughout certain seasons. So if you focus on foods in the wintertime that have roots and are grown underground, containing, qualities like, different vitamins, minerals, nutrients that our bodies need during this time, then you're more likely to be able to boost your immune system. So foods like, carrots, sweet potatoes, ginger, beetroots, even things like eggs, nuts, seeds, whole grains, fish, they're really good too because they help to bring moisture to your skin, which can combat a lot of dryness that happens in the winter too. We want to try and reduce the number of raw vegetables and cold or frozen foods that you're having in the winter time, and having more hearty, beautiful, warming foods like stews and soups. They're really, really good and at this time of year. It's also not a bad idea to be having foods that are really high in vitamin C, for obvious reasons as well.
And as you know, vitamin C foods, our eyes drawn to them because they are generally very bright and very orange.
That's right. Although, fun fact, did you know that a kiwi fruit has more vitamin C than an orange?
Yes, I did.
You only knew that because I told you.
Correct, but I still knew it for all those listeners at home. But yeah, it's true. Our eye is drawn to the things that we naturally want. That's why certain fruits are colored the way they are.
Absolutely. All right, moving on to number 5. This is something that I have actually prided myself in healing a lot of in my own body over the last couple of years, and that is gut health. Now, they say that we actually have 2 brains in our body. Well, unless you're male. We
have 3.
We could argue there's 3, but Generally, there's two brains in our body. We have one in our head, and the other brain is in our gut. So our gut brain controls so many different areas of our health, hence why it's really, really crucial that we have a strong focus on having really healthy gut system. And we can do that by filling our diet with foods like sauerkraut, yogurt, kombucha. Anything that's really highly fermented is really good for improving your gut health. The other thing that is really great to have is anything that's high in pre or probiotics, especially if you have been sick and you've had to have antibiotics, because that stuff messes with your gut health. So just making sure you're really, nourishing your gut health and staying away from processed foods, sugars, those sorts of things that are detrimental to gut.
Yep. Now, the next thing is supplementation. Now, when we say supplementation, we're not talking about going to the fitness shop and buying things like proteins and stuff like that.
You're jacked up fat burners.
We're not talking about that. That's a whole different topic for right now. But we are talking about literally supplementing your body with the other nutrients and vitamins that sometimes it either lacks or needs a bit of a boost on at this time of year. Things like, you need to get good quality ones. I'll talk about good quality in a second. But things like vitamin C and D, super important at this time of year. Zinc. Zinc is another massive one. And something you can take with zinc is a product called quercetin. Now, quercetin is a little supplement. It's all vegetable based that helps your body absorb more out of zinc. So if you're interested about that, hit us up and we'll talk to you a little bit more about that one. Magnesium helps your muscles function properly, your bones, anything to do with veggies, fruit and berries, and pre and probiotics. Now, when we talk about good quality ones, we don't mean go down to Woolies, and we don't mean just go to the local pharmacy and grab anything off the shelf, because there are so many supplements out there, and we've all seen them before, that talk about vitamin C, vitamin D, all the normal things. The problem is they're manufactured in a very synthetic way. And when it's a synthetic supplement for vitamins, your body doesn't absorb much. Your body is lucky sometimes to take 30 or 40% of that vitamin into your system. It just can't absorb it because it's not natural. And what you're going to find then, a really good test to know if your vitamins are working or not, is after you take vitamins, it sounds gross, but when you pee, have a look at the color of it. If it's very, very bright yellow, what that means is your body is not absorbing most of that supplement you just had. And it's just literally, it's like pissing your money away, basically.
I call
say that out of the side of my mouth.
I call that disco wee.
Yeah, and
Basically.
that's your money, literally.
Yeah.
That's your money going straight down the toilet because your body can't absorb it. So having good quality supplements is definitely better. And I know that's something Amanda and I both like in particular, is things like Juice Plus, which is a very good one. I take it personally now as well, with the berries, the omegas, the vegetables, and
No disco wee with
and the
that.
fruits. And I actually will attest to that you do not have that problem. Your body does absorb the vast majority of the supplement, which is exactly what you want.
So that's definitely something that we both invest a lot of time and money into researching and spending on.
But otherwise, you're just literally throwing money away because you're taking a product, but you're not actually getting the product. Like paying for a gym membership and not turning up. You're paying for it, but you're not getting it.
Yeah, and it is really difficult to get all of the vitamins, minerals, nutrients that we need out of our food.
Sometimes, yes. Especially if you're very busy. It can be a little challenging sometimes to get what you need.
Yeah, and just the food isn't the same quality as it used to be,
well, it's not our
10,
parents'
20, 30
days.
years ago.
Or our grandparents' days where you would grow it and eat it. Yeah.
There are definitely things that need to be supplemented. So do your research and stay away from synthetics for sure.
It's just not worth the money, honestly.
All right. Next one, it kind of goes back to what I was saying before about food, but there are actually immune boosting herbs that you can add to your food as well. Or hot tip, sounds really gross, but you can add different herbs to your smoothies. And it doesn't really change a lot of the flavor or taste of them. It's such a great way to sort of blend them in and boost your smoothies.
And also even in teas. is another really good one to get
Yeah,
into.
well, I was just going to talk about teas actually. So, incorporating warm spices and teas into your daily routine, things like ginger and tulsi tea are really good for keeping your immune system strong. Echinacea, berry
Yeah.
teas, they're really great as well if you're
Yeah.
battling a cold.
Echinacea antioxidant. Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Huge.
And then warming spices like cumin, cinnamon, cardamom, cayenne pepper, fennel, all of those will help you stay really strong in the immune system throughout this season. So definitely use those in things like smoothies, or if you're making curries, stews, soups, anything like that, load up on those.
And there's a reason why a lot of older cultures on this planet actually use those things or have drank those things for many, many years as part of their whole health routines and medicine.
Especially like a lot in the European countries and the Asian cultures as well.
Yeah, a lot longer than what we've been doing,
Yeah,
things like that.
definitely.
And it does have its roots, and effectiveness is there. Now, the last thing we want to talk about is another one that sounds really simple, is hang out with people. It's hard at this time of year because when it's cold and you want to hibernate and put the blanket on and lay on the couch and binge watch Netflix all day long, you need that human contact. You need to be around people because there are significant studies that say being social has a huge balancing effect on our hormones. And that in turn helps to stabilize our immune system. So there are so many different things that happen to our bodies when we go and we socialize and we're around people versus when we lock ourselves away at home mentally, and these things manifest physically as well.
Absolutely. So I'll raise a glass of kombucha to that.
That is so lame. All right. I'm going to pretend she didn't say that. So bad puns aside.
I don't drink wine or beer.
Very bad puns aside, we're going to leave it there. And we hope you've gotten something exciting, interesting, or useful from these 8 easy steps to help your immune system stay boosted this winter.
Yeah, let us know what your biggest takeaway was in the comments below. We'd love to know.
And if you have any questions, we'd love to hear from you as well.
Absolutely. Reach out anytime.
All right. Catch you
Stay
later,
healthy.
guys.